Championship last year. But Son, the Korean, doesn't seem to be quite at his best in the World Games. You don't expect too much from the Poles. As with the women, it's about gaining experience for the Polish contingent of skaters. Pawel Patxi, see him going around here, and his compatriot Jan SWIATEK. They will certainly be among the contenders for early elimination. So the countdown continues. A dangerous dark horse there in the shape of the Argentinian. KEN Kuwada. As we saw, very, very efficient in the points elimination race. He timed that race to perfection to edge out Livio Wenger and Milke Alejandro PAEZ. Ewen Fernandez could be another contender as well. He picked up the bronze medal for France in last year's World Championships. Son, as I say, came fourth. And Ken was the last to be eliminated. There's one of the two Germans, Felix RIJNHEN. Not sure if Simon Albrecht is here. He was listed as a starter. There's confirmation there, the double gold medalist from these World Games. But I haven't seen him during warm-ups. You do get some late withdrawals. 22 men were put into the starting lineup. Whether we will have 22 at the starting line remains to be seen. There was a small handful of withdrawals for whatever reason, an injury. Very often the reason a muscle gets pulled, there's a crash. Sometimes you just think that doesn't serve your energy for another day as well. MARESCHI, Wenger, PEULA, DIAS, all of those men were in the final a year ago. All of them early eliminated. 65 is Peter Michael. Just having a little chat there with the Argentinian. There's Son. Maybe he's saved his best for last as far as the track is concerned. Stefano Mareschi, Daniel NIERO of the Italian contingent. All the skaters taking their place. Bart swings. Silver medalist for the second World Games in a row in the 1,000 metres, the Belgian, earlier. We'll have seen his compatriot, Sandrine Tass, pick up the silver medal in this event. Martin Dias getting his introduction.
From Switzerland,
Livio Wenger introduced as well.
Yu-Lin and from Venezuela, Julio MIRENA.
Well, there's plenty there. If there have been withdrawals, there have not been many. But one of the withdrawals does appear to be Simon Albrecht. One of three not to take his position. Oh, and in a 15,000 metre race, you get a false start. A little bit too keen there, Felix RIJNHEN. On a 300 metres time trial, you get it. But here we go again. Now we are up and running in this men's 15,000 metre elimination race. It'll be pretty much a predictable format through the first 9 or 10,000 metres. They'll all take a turn at the front. They'll all take their time. They'll conserve their energy. They'll work in the slipstream, all working effectively together. And then the race will transform. And it will become physical, aggressive series of bursts and sprints as you try and avoid being the last skater over the line at the elimination points. So very steady here, of course. Swings is just tucked in there. Well, here he goes again. Oh, the German decides, you know what, let's just shake things up a little bit if we possibly can. So RIJNHEN goes off all on his own. Now, I don't think the others will be too bothered. Hello, somebody's after him. Well, this is interesting, isn't it? RIJNHEN has really shaken the pack up here. And Elton de Souza, the Frenchman, has decided, I don't know what he's up to, but I don't like it, and I'm going to go after him. And that has woken everybody else up. So the steady, sedate procession that we were expecting, we're not getting. Now, this could be absolute chaos if this carries on. We could have skaters all over this track. And goodness knows how the adjudicators are going to keep a track of who's where. De Souza's tucked in. Now, if these two are really clever, they could work together to more or less potentially slipstream with each other to keep this healthy lead. They can avoid all the elimination dramas. They eliminate all the way down to the final five. And when you get to that point, it's then just a dash for the medals. But RIJNHEN continuing to lead the way, but I think they are slowly but surely closing the gap on these two. RIJNHEN's just having a look around now to see where everybody is. We saw RIJNHEN do this in one of the heats, and it wasn't long before he got dragged back, and I'm not sure they are closing, you know. I think they've all just settled down again, the remaining 20 skaters here. They're in no great rush. They're looking around at the other two, they're saying, what on earth are you guys doing? This is a 15,000 metre elimination race. Has nobody told you? Well, they don't care. RIJNHEN's got his own tactics, and de Souza has decided, I don't know what that guy knows, but he knows something, and I'm going to go with him. Now, whether this proves to be good tactics or whether it proves to be disastrous, we wait to see. But it's certainly made things interesting and lively. You would think de Souza ought to take his share of lead duties, but I haven't seen RIJNHEN look behind him and tell him. I mean, you will get verbal conversation going on. Hey, come on, do your bit. And at the moment, though, RIJNHEN just seems quite happy, and de Souza is more than happy. I mean, he's half the size of the German anyway. So he is just tucked in behind him, and he's having a really easy time of things. One or two of the back markers are in danger of being overhauled here, so it really is. It's getting very, very interesting indeed. They are spread all over here. Confirmation that Albrecht didn't start, nor did Andres Jimenez, the gold medalist in the 1,000 metres. Milke Alejandro pace, he's not here either. But Felix RIJNHEN is here. Elton de Souza is here. Well, I was going to say there's plenty of other skaters chasing them, but there doesn't seem to be any sense of urgency from the group whatsoever. So Jan SWIATEK, the Pole, has already withdrawn. He's eliminated himself before the elimination points have been reached. There's a long, long, long way to go. And I think maybe that's why these guys are saying, well, let's take it easy. But you know what? The way these two are skating, they can just tuck in there, sit with the peloton and just say, okay, catch us if you can. Absolutely fascinating. Now we've got somebody else deciding it's time to have a go. Well, somewhere in that group are the leaders. There they are. And now somebody else has gone off. Swings is leading the way in the chasing group, and I think they've decided, yeah, let's see if we can drop a few more here. Let's see just how our two leaders are feeling, and there is a gap opening up there. RIJNHEN unable to close that gap, but now it's slowed down again, and that allows the German and de Souza tucked in behind him to just draw their breath a little bit. De Souza's played a very, very canny game here. He's just hidden away. Wherever RIJNHEN's gone, he's stuck with him, and he's less than a metre from the big German wherever he goes. It's clever from de Souza. Ewen Felix somewhere in this group. And there he is, the other Frenchman. Definitely a medal contender under normal circumstances. There we have two medalists from last year's World Championship final. Peter Michael being one of them. He's in second place there behind Bart's swings. There's KEN Kuwada as well, the Argentinian, and those distinctive blue and white stripes. Well, still such a long way to go, of course, but right now RIJNHEN and de Souza have played their trump card. They've got themselves a full lap on these guys, and off we go again. And it's the Argentinian that's decided to see what he can do just to shake things up a little bit. He's away and gone. Now, we saw in the 10,000 metre point elimination race just how smart and clever tactically he can be. So he's decided, well, let's see if we can just open things up a little bit. If RIJNHEN and de Souza are going to feel any fatigue from the effort they put in, let's see if we can take it out of their legs. But there are the two leaders. And I don't think they'll do any more than just stay there if they possibly can. Now, there's a little group of five that are trying to get away. A small gap has opened up. A very small gap, it has to be said. One of the Italians in there, leading the way. And every time that was, I think that was NIERO at the head of the group. Now Peter Michael decides, you know what? This is my title, and I'm going to defend it, and that's producing a response from the group, including RIJNHEN and de Souza. We'll have to wait and see if they can get the German and the Frenchman out of this group. That's the only way they can overhaul them, of course. Swings joins Michael at the head of affairs. Now a little bit of a gap. Now, this is where it's going to get really tough for these two, as we've got something like 47 laps still to go. They put in a big, big effort to get that lap lead. And is it going to cost them now that the counter-attack is coming? Martin Dias, the Portuguese skater, has had enough. It's getting very, very hot. And it's getting really hot for de Souza and RIJNHEN. RIJNHEN in particular looks like he's starting to come apart. Now Peter Michael. Well, there's the two leaders. But it looks already that their gamble is going to backfire spectacularly. And they must look at the lap counter and say 44 laps and their hearts must be sinking. Well, they've still got a healthy lead, but that is just being cut and cut and cut as this leading group continues to work together, and they've got so much time just to drag the leaders back. De Souza finally, belatedly, giving RIJNHEN a hand, but RIJNHEN really looks like he's suffering. So Swings leading the way. They've got Jorge Bolanos Villacorte of Ecuador for company, and Ewen Felix, the other Frenchman, in that group as well. Stefano MARESCHI and Livio Wenger could be a dark horse. The Swiss silver medalist in the point elimination race. He's well placed too. So some genuine medal prospects in that chasing group. And these two, their fates are sealed together. Somehow they've managed to hold on there. But you think there will be another attack at some point. They will take deep, deep breaths. Those two at the back of this group. Remember, they have a lap advantage over the rest of the field. And it looked as if the likes of Swings and Fernandez, Michael, Wenger were going to really pour it on and take it back, but then they've settled down again. And that is great news for de Souza and RIJNHEN. You can be pretty sure that they won't be taking any turns at the front of this group. They'll just sit back. Well, if RIJNHEN does get a medal out of this, it will prove to be an inspired move to attack like that the way he did, and the same for de Souza. If he gets a medal, he made the early decision. In fact, he was the only skater that made any kind of effort just to get in touch with RIJNHEN. It was a brave and gutsy piece of front running from the big German. And they've slowed it right down again. Now, we've had weather, to say the least, coming through Wroclaw today. And there was some doubt about whether these races would actually manage to take place. Dark clouds are looming around the Millennium Park. Not that they're visible in that shot, but they are lurking, more noticeable in that shot, and away we go. Once again, I think this is Bolanos VILLACORTE looking to lead the way, and hello, here we go. They've turned on the afterburners again. Elton, let's go, is safe. Felix RIJNHEN. We've got to try and stay with this. But I wonder, those 4 or 5 laps that they just took it easy there, tremendous benefit that to RIJNHEN and de Souza. The longer they can just see this peloton just coasting around, the better their prospects will be. Another little burst of pace. Michael just with an injection of pace as we get down to 32 laps to go, and the build-up continues to the elimination stage, and that's when we'll really get to see what RIJNHEN and de Souza have left. Yes, this is a comfortable stroll at the moment, and it slows right down again. We've lost a couple more. Diogo MARREIROS has withdrawn, so he'll join Martin Dias on the sidelines, and Julio Mirena of Venezuela, he's gone as well. So we continue to lose riders before the elimination points. Looks like about 14 left. That's exactly what it is, as Swings leads the way with Mareschi tucked in behind him. Now the Italian hits the front, and these two, RIJNHEN and de Souza, the leaders, remember, they are at the back of this group, but they have a lap to play with. So with all those withdrawals, that's going to delay the elimination process. And now Livio Wenger decides to take it on. Little Elton de Souza there right at the back in his favoured position, tucked in behind big Felix RIJNHEN. Anthony Nalder, the other New Zealander, still in the race as well, not expected to be one of the key players in this game, unlike his compatriot, of course, Peter Michael. Now, when will Michael decide to take this on? Will he decide to take it on? Well, he's got himself to the front, and there's another injection of pace. Swings is looking around in second place behind him. They're both keeping an eye on the Argentinian. And the pace drops again. And look at de Souza just standing up and saying, well, if you're going to give me breathers like this, I'm taking them. Again, it slows down. De Souza now looking really comfortable. RIJNHEN facially not looking so comfortable, but he has managed to hold it together. There was a moment about 10 laps ago where you wondered if he was starting to really feel it. But then when de Souza went past him, that seemed to give him fresh legs. And he's revived as we get down to the final 5,000 kilometres, and we continue to tick down to the first of our eliminations. There will be a delay, of course, because MIRENA, MARREIROS, DIAS, the other Pole, Pawel Ciszki, he's gone as well, SWIATEK. Both the Poles have left already. And that leaves this group. The two men at the back, if you are just joining this race, are not the back markers. They are the leaders. They have a full lap over the remaining 12 in front of them. But there are some really fast skaters ahead of these two. It remains to be seen whether the big gamble from Felix RIJNHEN, the big German in the red, and his shadow behind him, Elton de Souza, the Frenchman, will that gamble pay a dividend, or will they pay for their audacity? Peter MICHAEL, the reigning World Games champion, the reigning world champion, leading them round. Bart Swings is behind him. Daniel NIERO and Stefano Mareschi, the two Italians, are up there along with Ewen Felix and Patxi PEULA, the Spaniard. He's still in the mix. There's the bell. Now, let's see if RIJNHEN and de Souza can stay with these guys. And this is where it's going to get really confusing, because if those two are last to cross the line, don't forget they've got that lap advantage. Right now, it looks as if HUANG Yu-Lin is the man that's struggling. So still that big, big lead for these two. So the elimination claims another victim. And here we go again. There'll be another one going momentarily as the two Italians decide to join forces. NIERO leading Mareschi. These two still sticking around, and I'll tell you what, Elton de Souza looks really fresh right at the back. HUANG has indeed gone, that's confirmed. His race is run. We will lose another one soon. These two sitting at the back, but still in touch with the group. Some 17 seconds to the good. There's another bell. Now these two starting to open up a gap. Now RIJNHEN and de Souza can't let this happen as we continue to look at the elimination as well. We've got to keep an eye on these two. They can't get detached. They've rejoined it. Out goes another one. That's SON Geunseong of Korea. His disappointing World Games continues. Another one bites the dust. Out goes SON. We have 12 still standing. We will continue to eliminate until there are 5 left. Now another gap starts to open up. Can RIJNHEN and de Souza stay with it as we reach the elimination phase of this 15,000 meter race? This is where it's going to get really tough for them. So far, so good. That looks like Antony NALDER might have met his match. He's gone. So we continue to tick them off, but we've still got the likes of Fernandez, Swings, Peter MICHAEL, of course, KEN Kuwada, Livio Wenger. We would expect them to be the medal contenders, but right now RIJNHEN and de Souza are still hanging around. They just won't go away. And at the moment, it's still looking good for them, because anybody who wants to attack those two is going to have to come from a long, long, long way back. We continue to lose contenders. Livio Wenger, the Swiss silver medalist in the 10,000 meter points elimination race, he's gone. Here comes another attack. Look at RIJNHEN and de Souza trying to stay with it. I think that might have been the Spaniard, Patxi PEULA. They might have got his number there. These two still there. It's a very small field now. Peula's still going. I thought they'd got him, but no. Well, it's Jorge Bolanos VILLACORTE that's gone. So Patxi Peula survives, the man in the red and white. He's still there. Will he be there at the end? And still it's looking good for RIJNHEN and SOUZA. There's another attack. Somebody has decided, you know what? Time to make my move, and it's Patxi Peula that's gone for it. Gutsy from him. We are still in the elimination phase. We have first and second at the back of the lead group. Third has made a break. Here goes the bell once again. Peula's obviously decided, well, I'm not going to get caught out here. Maybe they're all so busy watching each other that I can steal a march, but it looks like it's already proving a little bit too difficult for him, and he's slowing it down, taking a breather. He's going to cross the line, making sure he's okay. But still RIJNHEN and SOUZA sticking around. Peula is sending up a distress flare there. He looks in terrible trouble, doesn't he, the Spaniard? And now RIJNHEN and SOUZA have been dropped. And this is where it's going to get really interesting. Swings leads the chasing pack. Michaels and Fernandez right with him. So too Daniel NIERO. Peula looks like he's gone. Ewen Fernandez is struggling badly as well. So too, though, are the leaders, RIJNHEN and SOUZA. We are down to just 6. Only one man will be eliminated now. One of these 4 is going to go. Can RIJNHEN and SOUZA hang on here? Which one of these 4 is going to go? It's close, and it's Swings that's gone. So now we have our survivors. RIJNHEN and SOUZA will be hunted down by Peter Michael, Ewen Fernandez and Daniel NIERO. And the bad news for our 2 leaders, as SOUZA decides it's time to go for it. Michael and Fernandez, both medalists in the World Championships a year ago, and Fernandez is hunting these 2 down, but SOUZA, who has been conserving his energy and working behind RIJNHEN, has made a critical move. These 3 don't look like they're going to be able to catch him. Nowhere near. What a race that was from Elton SOUZA. And what a story as well for Felix RIJNHEN, who takes second place. His bravery earns him a medal, and it's all about who's going to get third. And that third place goes to Peter Michael. There was a rueful smile as the New Zealander crossed the line there, because he knew that these 2, that huge gamble, and it was Felix RIJNHEN that made it. It was Elton SOUZA who made the decision that he's going to go with him. It was Elton SOUZA that stuck in the German slipstream for so long. He looked comfortable. He looked composed. He was ready to make his move, and he has taken a brilliant gold medal with a race of tactical genius. He couldn't have played it better. Well, it looked an insane gamble when RIJNHEN went so early. SOUZA gambled as well and said, I'm going to go with him. But then he was so clever, conserving energy, as RIJNHEN did all the hard work, all the heavy lifting. They got into the peloton. The peloton did not help itself. They never really put any pressure on SOUZA and RIJNHEN. Little attacks here and there, then they'd settle down again. These 2 were able to just sit there, contain and contain. But it was SOUZA. You always felt between the 2 leaders that was the one that was going to have the sprint finish, and that's exactly how it played out. Peter Michael, Ewen Fernandez and Daniel NIERO, the other survivors, never threatened to close that gap. Absolutely brilliant. Masterful tactical skating from Elton SOUZA. Brave, courageous skating from Felix RIJNHEN. And Peter Michael will have no complaints about a bronze. That's all he deserved. These 2, the heroes of this 15,000 metre elimination race. What a story for Elton SOUZA. A bronze medal in the 1,000 metre sprint. Now gold, and there's confirmation in a time of just over 23 minutes. What about Felix RIJNHEN? And then Peter Michael taking the bronze in a sprint between him and the other 2 survivors, Fernandez and Daniel NIERO. So Fernandez drops from third a year ago in the World Championship to off the podium this time. Well, these were the also-rans, including three that decided that their interests were best served elsewhere today. No question where Elton de Souza's best interests were served on this circuit. Absolutely stunning performance from him. And you have to admire also the bravery of Felix Reijnen. Well, this man adding another medal to the collection. And you can see what it mentioned as well. It's so good to see the delight on the faces. Well, there's the mass start. And we just prepared ourselves really for 10,000 fairly gentle, sedate meters. Felix Reijnen had other ideas, of course. Here he goes. And everybody looked around as if to say, are you mad? Everybody except Elton de Souza. And that's where Elton de Souza has effectively won this gold medal, by sticking like glue right behind Felix Reijnen. The break secured, and they managed to rejoin the peloton, so that gave them something like a 17-second advantage. And every time you look at Elton de Souza, you've only got to look one place, right behind the big fella in red. Whenever they attacked, it looked as if they might get detached again, but then the peloton would just slow it down. That was Bart Swings there, the last man to be eliminated. But these two were away and clear, and Elton de Souza tried his best to cover him there, Reijnen, didn't he? But Elton de Souza had that extra burst, and he took a really clever bend there. Coming out of that bend, he knew it was all over. So too he may still be the reigning world champion, but he's the World Games champion no more. The gold medalist of 4 years ago. The New Zealander this year settling for bronze.
And the winner of the silver medal representing Germany, srebrnym medalistą reprezentującym Niemcy is Felix Reijnen.
And how well deserved is this from Felix Reijnen? And just listen to that applause. I think everybody appreciates just how bold his early break was. It was a gamble that could have backfired spectacularly. Instead, he earns himself a silver medal.
And the winner of the gold medal representing France, złotym medalistą reprezentującym Francję is Elton de Souza.
Elton de Souza of France, like the German, he gambled. He was then tactically very astute. And that combination of daring and courage and intelligence has earned him a bronze medal to go with, a gold medal, should I say, to go with the bronze that he won in the 1,000 meters. Elton de Souza, the gold medalist in the 15,000 meter elimination race.
Panie i panowie, proszę powstać na czas odegrania hymnu Francji.
Well, it was certainly dramatic, wasn't it, the men's 15,000 metre elimination race? But there's confirmation of our medalists. It's gold for Edwin de Souza of France, silver for the brave Felix RIJNHEN of Germany and the reigning world champion Peter Michael of New Zealand.